businesses have a fiduciary duty to maximize profit for their shareholders, which means they are legally required to make as much money for their shareholders, aka the stock market, as they can. So if they have extra money but no more demand, they'll do stock buybacks, which means they will just create an artificial bubble in the stock market, which is not good, but they're not going to expand and create more jobs. The only reason that a business will create more jobs is if the demand increases. And the demand increases if people have more money. Do you know how we could do that? If you want a business to create more jobs, you got to increase demand. And the way to do that, raise the minimum wage. Then people have more money to spend on products, and companies respond by increasing their ability to crank out their products. It's quite simple, but big business doesn't want us to know that because these CEOs, they love raking in the big bucks. But now you know. Right now, the IRS will go and find Joe Schmo who makes almost no money but forgot to put in some sort of tax form, and that's the person they go after. They don't have enough money to audit the wealthiest individuals because they know all the tricks in the book, and it takes a lot of work to audit somebody who has such ridiculous amounts of money. We've had a few studies done, and we now know that the very top of the top, they evade $1 trillion in taxes every year. So you give the IRS some more money, they actually serve people who are poorer well. You don't have to call and be on the phone all day just to figure out where your return is. And instead of going after the little guys who might have forgotten a form, the IRS can go after the $1 trillion per year in evaded taxes that the government could be using to help the average American. Regulations, they don't sound very sexy. We've been taught that they are a really crappy thing to do. But the fact of the matter is, business will exploit you. Period. Full stop. Businesses, we learned, were willing to employ child labor. Yes, here in America, we had child labor until the government stepped in and regulated it. Businesses have poisoned our streams. Businesses will pump pollution into the air because they are required to endlessly increase their revenue. Get robotics, bring in robotics so you don't have to pay a wage. So unless the government steps in and makes sure that workers actually get paid a decent amount, then corporations have literally no reason to actually do the right thing. Because corporations aren't moral, and we shouldn't expect them to be. In business school, I actually got an A on a project because we decided to run a simulation where we put employee wages as low as possible and we cranked out really bad quality products. We are taught that you do anything to maximize profit, and that includes treating people like machines. And the only thing that's going to protect us from that is the government regulation. I bet everyone remembers 2008 and the economic crash. That happened because lenders were giving out loans to people that were not able to actually make their payments. And they were doing it by pretending the individuals had more money than they did to be able to pay back that loan. So now they're actually doing the same thing except with corporations. So these banks are lending money to these businesses, these corporations, and they're claiming that these businesses are making much more than they actually are. To an investor, it looks like it is a reasonably solid investment, but they don't know that underneath this loan is very likely one that will be defaulted on.